So they'll be calling you a radical. So what's the Super Bowl got to do with Fukushima? Oh, everything. Oh, everything. So sports metaphors matter. And if you don't think that, you don't know anything. Unleash the lions in the Coliseum. You know who put that wood cross in the back of the Coliseum? You know, the still there? Oh, that was Mussolini. So sports metaphors matter. And if Ken Burns didn't prove that to you, we're in the bottom of the 13th on Balco. What a metaphor that the Super Bowl's in Las Vegas is I named the Stratosphere Bob Stuback Bowl, and I'll get into why that I named it that. Why? Because the answer is the sun. The answer has always been the sun. Here comes the sun. Did you know 100% of this Super Bowl, the Super Bowl entities, the Super Bowl experience, the whole thing, how much consumption junkie freak show energy that is? 100% from the big solar farm outside Vegas. 100%. So I get in an argument right here with one of the greatest morons I ever met in my life, the spokesman for Utah Power Night. He could be the dumbest person I've ever talked to. And he's just repeating the narrative like a regurgitating freaking minor bird. And so, well, what an insult to a minor bird. So he's like, oh, no, we need, what are you talking about? We need nuclear. What are you talking about? You guys owe us some money. You ripped us off. New scale, new scale, new scale. I says, the sun shines 300-something days a year here. It's a no-brainer. Allow us to freaking put into the grid. Allow us to sell back in the grid. And, well, somebody's got to pay for that infrastructure. You didn't build that fucking infrastructure. You know, your conglomerate fucking oligarchs that bought it up from Scotland. Oh, that's where the Ben Lomond Peak, that's right. What? Oh, I'm starting to get it. So, you didn't build the grid and the infrastructure. The United States taxpayer built the grid and the infrastructure. Fact, there ain't no more in the Columbia River jacks. So then we start arguing a little bit. I'm trying to be as cordial as I possibly can, which is hard with a moron like that. He's got a young apprentice with him, and so I just kind of moved away and started talking to her. I says, anybody that tells you, and any of these people that tell you that nuclear is a renewable should be arrested immediately. You do understand nuclear is not renewable. In fact, it's the opposite of renewable. So then he started talking about solar farms and they take out a giant swath. I says, I've flown over those so many times because you know how many times I fly from here to Vegas. I mean, from here to San Diego. The flights from Salt Lake go right over Vegas, right over the solar farms. It's a dot. I said, you want to talk about take out real estate? How about nuclear energy? They took out an entire prefecture in Japan. It's called Fukushima. How about the freaking... Do you know how big the exclusion zone is in Chernobyl? Well, it should be an exclusion zone in Vegas. It should be an exclusion zone in southern Utah. Oh, so why do I call it the Bob Stuback Bowl? I knew Bob Stuback. I knew him because I was part of the Stratosphere deal. My name used to be on the wall. I want to find that plaque. And I think it's so irony because remember Stuback made that incredible bet. And remember the Niners were 10-6. Underdogs all the way through. And it was that powerhouse Bengals team. Now, wasn't the quarterback of the Bengals doing the analysis? Oh, yeah. Super Joe Montana, who played for the Chiefs and, well, the Niners and the Chiefs. But he won all those with the Niners. He made the bet. He laid the 7 points, and he got beat. I didn't know this till this weekend because I knew him personally and he ripped us all off on the Stratosphere Tower. There's a block named after him. He died of leukemia, which so many people that live in Las Vegas do. You ever heard of the Nevada test site? Well, my father was nuked to death there. Air Blast 1, put in a trench. It's that time of year. It's mating season. Oh, yeah. It's February 12th, 2/12, that famous day that we shut down San Onofre at the hearing. That was 2/12. 10 years ago today? No, that was 11 years ago today. 11, 3 of them. So the Super Bowl, watch with my grandson. You know, of course, Harry Reid coached here. He coached in the Big Sky. Oh, yeah, NAU. But he He's a BYU guy. Like half the coaches in the NFL at one time were all LaVell Edwards descendants. So, if any player in football besides Kelsey went up to Harry Reid, went to any coach, especially a legendary coach like that, and got in their face and pushed like he did, they would be kicked out of the NFL for life. I mean, it's so over the top because what's happened to Kelsey? This fame that they've thrown on him has made him loco. He's gone loco. And if that didn't prove he's gone loco off the deep end, I don't know what does. All this fame and fortune they've shoved on him, and what happens is these people become so famous they think they're more human than human. It's kind of like Oppenheimer, back to the Nevada test site. Oppenheimer, the same people that dropped the bombs, you don't think that's genocide, in Japan, the same people that dropped the bombs, yeah, they're competing for her. She's a young female, they're two young males. Welcome to the real world, right? It's that time of year. They're choosing mates, they mate for life. The same people that dropped the bombs went in the Manhattan Project, baby never born, mother never pregnant, everybody backed out. Just remember, God like Oppie. Oh, Oppie, we love old Oppie. You know, Oppie died young of cancer. Young of cancer. All roads lead Los Alamos. Woo! Woo! I could get a whole dissertation about Bezos, Los Alamos, his mom, Dice. The only good thing, Bezos' mom did donate to Fred Hutchinson. My doctor is from Fred Hutchinson. You know, the Hickman line. My doctor saved my life. That's how he got to the United States from Copenhagen into Seattle. Fimbo, he saved my life. So, our roads lead to Los Alamos. So, that's what I'm going to tag this. Papa Lovey dropped his arrogance. Well, look what's happened to Kelsey. Any other player in the NFL would be kicked out for life. Now, me and my grandson watched the foot, and I got to give credit to that Chiefs defense and that Chiefs defensive coordinator. Masterful, beyond masterful. I mean, masterful. What a fucking performance by that defense. So the MVP should have been Chris Jones. So me and my grandson are arguing in the overtime rules. I'm like, no. He's like, they got to kick. They got to kick. Niners won the flip, you know, call tells both times. Tells again. He's like, no. He says, take it. And I says, no, just go down there and get a score and let this great Niners defense make Mahomes beat you. Make him beat you. So they go down. Now, they would have got the touchdown. The guy breaks free. He's wide open. The Niners get that great drive. You don't convert on fourth down. That great drive. He's wide open. But he can't see him. And my grandson's like, holy shit. He couldn't see him because Chris Jones is in his face. That was the guy who saved the game. When the Niners get the interception, I'm like, this game's over. They could have put that game away. They get the ball on about the 45-yard line of the Chiefs. I'm like, this game's, I mean, they score here. They're going to put this baby to bed. That defense shut them down. They didn't even get 3 points out of that. By the way, how good was the Niners defense? Holy shit, what a defensive game. Of course, so Mahomes, they held him to a fourth down play, and Mahomes makes the play. You know, he runs with his feet. And what a Super Bowl. But metaphorically, it's so, because sports metaphors matter. And a lot of people aren't paying attention to any of this. Oh, I am. The answer is the sun. It's always been the sun. We have a grid that the taxpayers has paid for, not these oligarch pieces of shit. The taxpayers paid for this a long time ago. And so they didn't pay for it. And people think these are still public utilities. They're not. They're not public utilities. Flip your soup can. So how come Chris Jones didn't get the MVP? He should have. Well, you know who I give the MVP to is Christian, well, the defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. I mean, he masked that blitz so perfectly on fourth down. He didn't see it coming. You know, and they masked it perfectly when the game was pivotal on like 6 or 7 or 8 plays. And that defense made the plays. So did the Niners, by the way. The Niners, you hold them to 3 points at halftime. But so remember, the Chiefs were 10-6, just like the Niners were back then. And again, that's famous because of the Super Bowl was in Vegas, Mr. Las Vegas. So Vegas World, I'm hung at Vegas World, the Stratosphere Tower. I was involved with that whole IPO. I was heavily, heavily involved. And I didn't find this out till this weekend. That's why it's so, I'm naming it the Stratosphere Bob Stuback Super Bowl. I didn't know this until this weekend because Stuback screwed me hard over. But he had lost it by then. He unloaded all that stock illegal. And didn't the 49ers owner buy the Stratosphere? Yeah, DeBartolo bought it. You can't make it up. These oligarchs that own the NFL, how about the Hunt brothers? Yeah, when they cornered the silver market, that's the tip of the iceberg of there. That's who owns the Chiefs. Still. Oligarchy, but I don't give a fuck about these owners. They can all, they're creepy. Ownership in sports things is creepy. But I don't root for teams, but I sure like players. I sure like to watch marquee, incredible athletes do their things. By the way, them 2 grandsons of mine are marquee, incredible athletes. And they get it. And I'm like, go down there, score, which they did. Make him beat you. Well, he did, but Chris Jones should have been the MVP. How about the defensive coordinator? But how about the fact that Kelsey can get away with that? Actually blows my mind. Any of these other coaches would have, well, I guess it's during the game. We'll see how the repercussions fall out. But Kelsey's lost his mind. He's really, you can see that the fame, the status, all of it has made Kelsey cuckoo in his brain. And so, our roads lead to Los Alamos. What about the Nevada test site? Where's your soup can? I was talking to a guy about the CIA. He's a friend of mine. I said, you were in Dallas in 1963? Oh, I worked across from her out story. And you came to Ogden on a bus, and you were married to the United Fruit president, daughter here in Ogden? You got to be CIA. And he looked down and he says, look at the bag you're carrying. Now, who's CIA's? I said, just the fact you know that. I got that on this campus. In fact, they gave me a rubber duck. Where's it at? I says, well, the fact is, if I was CIA, I wouldn't be so fucking poor, would I? I'm poor. Well, I'm rich in a lot of other ways. I was rich. I was that legendary trader in the day. Play back the tape, Your Honor. I really was. So I knew Stuback. Vegas World. Stuback took it public on his own in Vegas. Anybody who'd ever been to Vegas playing poker tournament, blah, 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 your name, he got your name. He sent you out little cards. Said, you want to invest in the Stratosphere Tower? He says, I'll take it public. I don't need Wall Street. Which he did. I was one of the early investors. Big one. My name was on, but he screwed us all. Stuback died of leukemia in 2009. I just found that out yesterday. My father nuked to death in the Nevada test site. Well, my father was a beast, incredible. You're talking one of the premier athletes in the history of this state, and his brothers died in the prime of his life of leukemia. In the trenches, where's the Nevada test site? Oh, Vegas, baby, Vegas. What stays in Vegas? Oh, it don't stay in Vegas. Nuclear fallout? Underneath the cloud, Richard Miller. I knew him personally. What a map. Well, they blackball his work. So, what happens in Vegas? Oh, it didn't stay in Vegas. You know why it didn't stay in Vegas? Because the jet stream. Where's your rubber ducky, Blanche? Throw it in Fukushima, Japan. Oh, you dropped your rubber ducky in Fukushima, Japan. Where to show up? At Gold Beach on the bridge in 6 days? No, it showed up in Southern California. Don't rain in Southern California. Mating season. Woo! I was thinking about when I was young and mating season. Woo! Woo! God, you're Freudian. Woo! I was thinking about it. Mm. People could say whatever they want about me when I was young, but I think about the females that I was involved with. Wow. I think about it. I was thinking about it today, and I'm thinking about it. Wow. Wow. I wouldn't take any of it back. That part of it. Whoa. Blanche, you're so Freudian. Yeah. Pop, pop, oppie dropped. The, Kelsey, his mind is gone. The celebrityness, I mean, that's what happens. They think they're more human than human. They're not more human than human. Any player in the NFL besides him, I don't think Mahomes would have got away with it. He would be, well, the NFL would ban him. Ask Nike. Did he take her Nike contract? The half activist. Pop, pop, oppie drop, just like Oppenheimer. He was so arrogant. Even Leo said, "Don't do it." The man, everybody said, "Do it." We were talking about Einstein yesterday. Einstein called himself a Quaker. Einstein was a peace activist. Einstein called war a disease. The same people that popped in Japan when everybody said no are the same people that took their own Marines, their own man. My dad was Air Blast One, put right in the. My dad told me there were freaking prisoners in cages out there, naked, that they exposed. We know from the, it's all true now because the FOIA documents are out there. You know, no lab rat or Chernobyl Wolf studies going to tell you. Well, the studies that will tell you, the son of an atomic veteran, the U.S. government freaking studies that are out on their own men. 40,000 United States Marines. My dad was the very first group, Air Blast One. The most healthy. My grandma used to call him her beautiful. He was a beast. He reminded me of Pat Tillman. What a athlete. And I mean a fucking athlete. Never, my grandma said he never had a cold in his life. Died in the prime of his life. He got sick and it was over. Oh, I got some freaking Vegas stories, baby. What happens in Vegas, it don't fucking stay in Vegas. But why is this so metaphorical? It's about Stubach's Super Bowl. Remember Stubach's bet? $1 million? And he lost. He laid 7. Remember the 49ers ever think they were 10-6. The Chiefs were underdogs in the last 3 playoff games. How they beat the Ravens, and I look back on it. Was it just a fluke? He punches that ball out when he's going in the end zone. I look on it now and I'm like, that defense is all that. That defense did it. Unbelievable. Could be one of the greatest defenses I've ever seen. It reminds me of the Cowboys with Landry against the Dolphins that year when Bob Lilly and that big set. Remember what the Cowboys did to those Dolphins that year? I mean, the Super Bowl, they just annihilated them defensively. That Chiefs defense, whoa. The MVP should have been Chris Jones. I mean, one of the greatest coaching performances I've ever seen. Don't kid yourself, that Niner team is good, really good. They'll be back. The Chiefs have the youngest defense in the NFL. These guys, all these, they talk dynasty. Well, that's what's weird about this is because just go 2 years ago, 3 years ago, all those Chiefs teams that went to the Super Bowl, most of these guys didn't even play on those teams. They're the youngest defense in the NFL, and it was the defense that won. That defense, that secondary, I mean, all pro, all pro, all pro. Freaking linebacker. I mean, Chris Jones is the best I ever saw. And I was a big Neil Smith fan, and Derek Thomas, and Deron Cherry. I was a huge Derek. You know what happened to him after the Super Bowl. They need to move the Super Bowl. I've always said to Saturday. The domestic violence and, well, the death night. The night of the Super Bowl, so much bad shit happens. People have been partying too long. They go cuckoo like Kelsey. Kelsey reminds me of Oppenheimer. Again, he's gotten bigger than life. He's lost his mind. He's out of control because popular culture is created, just like they did Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's God. When Oppenheimer's one of the greatest mass murderers that ever lived. And I want to get a call out to the protests at the moment. Who started those original protests at the moment against these scumbag oligarchs? Look up Leon Black. Look on up Glenn Dubin. Those are the gatekeepers at the moment. Glenn Dubin. Oh, the Epsteiners. Jeffrey's coming over to read the girls' bedtime stories. Who started those protests? Me. I did with group R's. Thomas Ackerman, myself. By the way, Thomas Ackerman's fighting for his life. He's full of cancer. Patrick McCormick, who lives in Vegas, baby. Kevin Finnegan. That was us who started all that. Clear back then. Remember we were protesting? The Royals are going to play with the children at FUKUSHIMA. You see the protest Saturday at the moment? Masterful. You won't see that. You on the CBS Evening News. Hundreds and hundreds. I'll do another version of this that I can put on Twitter because I won't be able to put this on YouTube. So, sports metaphors matter. The fact that the entire massive production was 100% from the solar farm. Oh, that takes out the tortoise. That's bullshit. Don't touch the fucking tortoise. Teeny thing. Pop, pop, Avi dropped. They never stopped. These same psychos. It goes from pop, pop, Avi dropped to Middle East of Eden. And everything in between. Pop, pop, Avi dropped. What in Japan, what they did in their 50 nuclear reactors, Fukushima. I mean, my God, build nuclear reactors on the Ring of Fire, TikTok, Diablo Canyon, Sinanoff, Kevin Blanch kicks the can down. We always had the answer. The sun, the sun, the sun. So everything should be solar. Stop blocking us from selling into the fucking grid, you dirtbags. The whole climate crisis is over. We can fix it. We can fix it overnight. Allow Utah, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, pop, pop, Los Alamos, Bezos. So I believe Jorgensen, mom, guys. Ooh, ooh. Oh, boy. Don't he look like Vermeer to you? Vermeer died very young of cancer. Huh. Manhattan Project, baby never born. Pop, pop, Oapi dropped when everybody said no. Stop at the parallel, Korea. No, we're going to go turn it to hell. Why not Vietnam to kill the vehicle? Got to talk to Henry before I go to Kissinger. Got to talk to Henry. Got to talk to Henry. Cambodia before I go. Got to talk to Henry Kissinger. Kissinger's dead. Kissinger's dead. Oh, peace. Downsizing the military. The gift that keeps on giving the imperialists, Saudi Arabia. They were Saudis. 9/11. Let's go attack. Went off to Iraq to get Dick Cheney and friends. That big old freaking $2,000 a hamburger freaking sack. Blackwater on Balco on chemo. Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Oligarchs. The military industrialized war pigs. Eisenhower was not a cliche. Make it rain in Ukraine. Same plan. Up to Middle East of Eden. By the way, the Super Bowl ads, most of them were downright bizarre. Paint on the boots one was really bizarre. Why is Bobby saying he's apologizing for the best Super Bowl ad there was? Why is he apologizing for that ad? That ad was masterful because we all remember our generation. That ad. John and Bobby, we remember that ad. Why are you apologizing for that? And by the way, I'll be voting for Bobby. And I don't agree with about half of his. I think he's an oligarch bootlicker in a lot of ways. But he says he's anti-nuclear, and Price Anderson comes up in 2020. He can veto it. Because these bootlicking Congress, all 535 of them, they don't even know what Price Anderson is. These lobbyists will freaking spin it up, one out, but the real fact of the matter is the sun, and wind is devastating all the other oligarchy, fossil fuels, nuclear energy, dirt bags in there, but they still get the money flowing. Sports metaphors matter. The Bob Stuback Bowl, the 10-6, Chiefs, underdogs, underdogs, underdogs. You know, pull off the upsets. Stuback got beat then. Stuback died of leukemia in 2009. I didn't know. He did live in Vegas, like St. George. And this is not commentary. I lived in the bone marrow transplant center at LDS, off and off, mostly on, for 5 years. Going there on any given day, I lived there. Well over half the people in there are from southern Utah. We here call it the red dust. What, you think it went away? You think all that nuclear fallout in Vegas went away? Another reason to stay out of there. It ain't fun no more like it was with Stuback. Stuback, it was fun. You know, Vegas world, he would took care of you. He wanted you. Remember, he built that down in North Vegas. Nobody wanted to be. You know, but he went crazy. You know, he lost it, and he screwed everybody. And of course, the Niners broke in. Oh, here we go. Oh, wings, we will pretend. Beware of the military-industrial complex was not a cliche. Eisenhower's right. Eisenhower's right. Eisenhower's right. It happened. Pop, pop, oh, Oppie dropped us. Oppie was so arrogant, so full of himself because everybody created this more human than human. Kelsey's gone crazy because of popism. Remember I'm carrying my sign on the royal toilet paper bag? Popism is dead. They just don't know it's dead yet. Popism. The sun, the solar farm, we should be nothing but empower the world overnight. The sun. Spend 300 days a year here. Down there, probably about 350, 340. Oh, we can't. Bullshit, you can store it. 100% our Bob Stuback. Vegas, baby. Vegas. What happens in Vegas? Oh, it don't fucking stay in Vegas. It's like at Fukushima. You ever heard of the jet stream? Under the clouds. Raining confetti. Raining nuclear fallout. Chris Jones deserved the MVP, and that was anybody who did that, especially on that big stage, would be kicked out of the NFL forever, except for him. The Bob Stuback Stratosphere Tower, Super Bowl, MVP. Huh. What's the MVP of the Super Bowl? The sun. The sun. Oh, it's significant. Stay in tune.